This was.
So Dignitas have entered professional Valorant, and they have signed not all of them, but the core of the homeless roster. So there are some holes here. There is a fifth player that is missing from this roster, which means Lasky is not one of the players that was signed here from the homeless roster. But Dephh, Psalm, Supamen, and Poised did make the cut, and now they will be wearing black and gold. Emily, what do you make of just homeless as a roster, how they've been performing in tournaments, but also the fact that Lasky is not part of Dignitas?
I mean, Tyler pointed it out earlier, right? Like they need to find a player that fits in with the rest of the four as more of like a primary like entry opper kind of. And I mean, I really like this team. Like since they made their kind of faux dark horse run, like their initial one, I believe, is in the Space Invitational, if I'm not mistaken. Every single NA tournament starting to blur together. I think that was where. I think that was their thing, if I remember correctly. But no, I mean, I'm happy these guys got picked up. I know Psalm was having. Like he's been, from what I know, shopping the team around for a while. I know he initially came up against the whole like, oh, Fortnite players don't have hands narrative. So it's happy to see that dispelled as well. And I mean, I wish nothing for the best for these guys. I'm just wondering, my main thing is I want to ask you all, because I haven't heard anything. Do you know who's on the short list to replace Lasky?
I know that I believe Wardell brought it up today that Shanks, who is a former Counter-Strike player in MDL, who is a Jet main, has been trialed. They were talking about how he could possibly be the player. I'm sure they're trying out numerous players. I know Daze has been tried out by a few teams recently.
Somebody I'm looking forward to where he lands.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good Jet players in North America who can op and who are one-trick Jet players to an extent. But I also think it's very worrisome, right? Where you have to know that this player isn't just good on Jet. You need a good primary operator overall, because Jet might get nerfed in a week or two. There is definite cause and reason why they might just nerf her a bit, and she's not 100% pick. Right now, she is that you have to have a Jet on your team in North America to win, but that in a month or two, that might not be the case. So don't, for these teams, they have to look at a player who's not only good at Jet, but also just a very solid primary operator all around. So Shanks might be it. We might see another type of player, but there's a lot of players that could be the fifth man of the toss.
Tell me if this person is a Jet opper, but Roka is in the chat a lot right now. That name is popping up a lot.
He has aim. He definitely has aim.
Yeah, we've talked about him before.
Yeah, we talked about him last week.
Is the Jet opera, like we've talked about that role a lot and how many teams are looking for that role, assuming that all things stay the same. Of course, like you said, Tyler, Jet could be nerfed tomorrow. We don't know. But right now, as we stand, it sounds like that is by far the most lucrative position. If you are a free agent and you are good at Jet op, it seems like you would be in very high demand, and your time would be right now to reach out to orgs, especially ones looking for you, and sign a big deal.
Yeah, definitely, because you can't win right now versus Wardell or Tens or Shazam or Mame in any of these tournaments if you don't have a Jet, because a lot of these matches, like Hiko said, there's not enough utility to make sure you're going to have a good time versus an operator if you don't have one on your side. So for these teams, you need one to survive and to win. You can survive without a Sage player. You can survive somewhat without a Cypher player, especially if Killjoy now in the meta. But for teams right now in North America especially, you need the Jet operator player.